Hello.
안녕하세요. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Artosis. We're waiting for Scarlett now.
Yep.
Hello, Artosis. We're waiting for
Give her a
Scarlett now.
second.
Oh, God, hold on.
Yep.
I've got my voice playing on Dan Strain. 1 second. All right, here we go. Check, check. Is Scarlett here?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, we hear you great.
Okay.
Okay, real quick question, Scarlett. What time is it for you right now?
9 p.m. Not too bad.
Okay, not too bad. All right, great.
Until a few days ago, I actually had the time confused. I was planning it for 10 a.m., but yeah, off a little bit on that.
Well, we're very happy to have you here now. I guess let me just hop into a couple questions here. First of all, you know, I've been following Artosis' stream every day. I know he's been grinding quite a bit. How active have you been? Have you been playing a lot of StarCraft 1, Scarlett, or are you busy with other stuff over in Canada?
Wait, 1 sec. Sorry, my stream can't hear you guys, I think.
Oh, yeah, no, take your time. No problem.
Are you guys sure you can't hear it?
Guys, while they're just getting this set up, open up everybody's stream, because this is going to raise StarCraft's noticeability on Twitch. And then listen to whichever one you want to have the audio on for. But open up each stream, please.
That's right.
For everybody listening. We're fucking gaming the system, boys and girls. How are you doing today, Artosis?
I'm doing just fine, thank you.
When did you wake up?
Well, Maeve was screaming at 2:30 a.m. And eventually I got back to sleep, and then between 6 and 6:30, Malcolm decided he wanted to get up, so I've been up since then.
Oh wow, okay.
Continually.
Living the dad life, the sleepless life.
Yeah. A little bit.
I
have drank so much coffee at this point that I can hear my heartbeat.
I tried to stream Cyberpunk yesterday, and it turns out that game doesn't work. I think I fixed it for today, but I spent 2 hours with people staring at my face trying to make a game work. Apparently, it just doesn't run. It's like not finished.
Yeah, I saw a lot of people posting screenshots of it and stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna try again today. I think I've figured out the problems, but we'll see if I can actually play it. But that was my whole day yesterday. So everybody who's jumping into the channel, Scarlett's trying to get some audio issues mapped out, and then we're gonna have an interview, and then we're gonna go into this. Give me 1 second. I'm just gonna get some tea. Just sit tight.
Montian, thanks, man. Oh. You know, that whole, the whole Cyberpunk thing. Actually, I'll wait till Tasteless is back for this, for my hot take on Cyberpunk.
Will you play Cyberpunk already?
I'm not. That's what I should name my stream. The only person on Twitch not playing Cyberpunk.
I'm back. I'm here now. I'm sorry. I couldn't hear you.
I have thoughts on Cyberpunk, right?
Yeah, please tell me.
Because it's like totally not ready, right? But all I've seen for the past fucking 3 months is people complaining about how it's getting delayed.
Oh, people are fucking stupid, dude.
You reap what you sow.
No, I know. People are
Okay.
like, just release the game. And it's like, the game's not ready. Yeah, no, it's actually weird because it looks like the writing and everything, the world is very cool, but it's not. It's definitely not done, which is weird. Hey, guys, thank you, everybody who's subbing. I have my alerts off just for the interview. So I noticed you guys are subbing. I'll thank you guys when we start game one. So I have just poured myself a cup of balloon flower extract.
Balloon flower extract.
This is what gaming casters need to not destroy their voice.
That sounds like a great way to lose weight. Balloon flower.
It does sound like a weight-losing tea, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But this
literally
stuff,
never heard of that.
I should bring you some. It's actually quite good. It's actually for the throat. So
I showed Tara the toothbrush you gave me.
Oh yeah. What did she think?
She was like, "What the fuck?" She's like, "Nick's the one with the horse mouth. Like, what is this?"
With the fucking donkey mouth.
Yeah.
Have you tried it yet?
Not yet. I took it out of my pocket this morning. I like forgot it in my jacket when I got home.
I'm gonna show my stream this. Hold on. I'm sorry.
I think Scarlett has some trouble in Discord. She left.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I think she's fixing her sound, her audio.
Okay.
That's like always the most annoying thing in streams, figuring that out.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
Why you pick this?
All right, I'm here. All right, check this out, guys.
Scarlett?
Why do I pick this match? Like
Why
what against?
you pick these maps?
Oh, these maps? They're
Yeah.
ladder maps. That's it.
Maps?
And like so ringing bloom is like Plasma's a terrible map. So we were both like, no, let's not play Plasma. That map is stupid.
You know, Ling Bloom Season 2 is released.
Huh?
For Ling Bloom second edition is released for ASTL.
Oh, really?
Yeah. If you want, I can give you the link to download it.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Okay.
But yeah, like, and then out of the maps that are left for a best of 7, Eclipse and Polypoid are the best 2 maps in the pool, really. They're like just quality maps, and then we need to fill up to 7 maps, so figure we may as well just use ladder maps so that it would be easy for both of us to practice. Like,
Is it working now, guys?
I hear you.
I hear you fine.
Okay. Then my stream's working. I just have to restart OBS.
Oh, okay.
No worries.
Can you repeat the question?
Okay, so first of all, thank you guys for taking the time to do this interview, and I'm super excited to cast this rematch. So Scarlett, you've been in Canada. Excuse me. You've been in Canada for a couple months now. How much time have you had to practice? What is your StarCraft 1 regimen like right now?
So I was playing like almost all Brood War like right before I went back to Canada, but then I kind of stopped pretty quickly when I got back. It's not the same playing here like ladder or anything. You kind of have to get practice partners to get serious practice here. So I haven't really been playing much ladder, but I played a bunch of custom games recently against Terran specifically. Like I've only practiced against Terran recently, but a good amount of games.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. May I ask, who are you playing custom games against?
80s Mullet, he helped me a lot.
Oh yeah, he's a great player.
Yeah.
Okay, very cool. And Artosis, to you. I see you've been laddering a lot. How do you feel your condition is compared to the last time you played your show match against Scarlett?
Yeah. Well, it's kind of funny because I think actually my MMR is lower than it was during the August show match, but I think I'm much better than I was then. I feel much more confident overall. Not necessarily in the match actually, but like I guess I feel pretty close to the same as before. Like I thought I would win it before, and then I didn't, and then now I think I'm gonna win it this time, and who knows if I will. But like overall for my actual skill level, and especially TVP, I feel just better in general, like more solid and stuff.
Can I ask what do you think has been your major improvements in TVP from the last time that you played?
Well, I think I've improved like every aspect. I've really put a lot of time thinking about it, and I've improved like my stability in the early game and some of my reading, like how I read what I'm actually looking at. But yeah, I kind of like just feel better with opening correctly, I guess, and making sure that I'm not screwed right off the bat, because that's where things go really wrong, is if like I'm making 2 turrets and someone's taking a 3rd nexus. It's like, okay, well, how am I going to win that game? But I've gotten better at avoiding situations like that.
What about you, Scarlett? Do you feel like your play style has evolved at all since the last show match?
I kind of had a lot of stuff prepared for the last show match, like little things in the game. I obviously can't give away what I'm gonna do this time,
Right.
but I think it's overall gonna be pretty similar to the last time. To be honest, I'm a little bit less confident though. Like last time, I was extremely confident going into the match, and then it was very, very close in the end. But this time, I'm not sure how it's gonna go.
Okay, Scarlett, what is your predictions for results here? And I'll ask
That's what
Artosis
I
too,
want
then I'll
to
throw it to
ask.
Caster Muse here.
That's what I want to ask.
Oh, please, yeah, go ahead. You can take it from here. Go ahead, please.
s- Sorry, I couldn't hear anything because someone cheered like 100 times on my stream.
Oh, no problem. What do you think the results are going to be? What's your predictions?
I think either way, it's probably going to be around 4-2. I honestly don't know who's going to win though. I hope it's me, but
Artosis?
So I think it's going to be relatively close. I can't even imagine like a 4-0 or a 4-1, honestly. I think our levels are probably similar. I think I'll win, but again, I thought I'd win last time. I generally think I'm going to win. So I don't know if that's a helpful gauge, but yeah, like I think it could very easily be a 4-3 or a 4-2.
Caster Muse, do you have any questions? Any more questions?
Well, I think I want to ask so many things, but I almost forgot because I'm nervous here.
No problem. No problem at all. Should we just start the match then?
Sounds good. I'm ready.
All right, we're ready. All right, good luck to both of you guys. I'm super excited to cast this. And again, for everybody listening, just open up everybody's stream. That helps the game itself to grow on Twitch.
All right, let's go.
All right, good luck. Bye-bye.
Good luck.
See you.
thanks.
Okay. Welcome, everybody. I'm glad I have you guys here with me. Let's see here. Now, you guys are saying I can join. How do I join from his, Am I actually friends with Artosis on here? That is Caster Muse. I'm going to turn alerts on in a second. A55. I'm going to turn alerts back on here, guys. Thank you, everybody who subbed.
I wish I was fucking stupid and didn't know things. Why can't I be an idiot like my opponents?
Oh, Elephant Talk's here, too. Thank you, Elephant Talk, for the sub, dude. Good to see you again.
You fucking kidding me? Oh, this is so stupid.
Guys, get out there, tell people that this this cast is going on.
You fucker!
I'm gonna have alerts off when I'm in game. Your support for the channel is really appreciated.
Tasteless Scarlett, Tasteless Artosis Pepe.
Yeah, guys, we have Artosis Pepes and Scarlet Pepes.
Serious?
For the people that are going to cheer. All right, I think we're gonna start the game. I'm gonna pause here. The alerts.
Fucking go write in a journal about what you think you know about Brood War and then light it on fire. Because you don't know anything.
I love that quote. All right, paused alerts. You guys can sub whenever.
Fucking go write in a journal about what you think you know
After
about
that when
Brood
it's
War
paused.
and then light it on fire. Because you don't know anything.
Okay, guys, let's get those Pepes ready. All right, our Terran player, the People's Terran. Let's make him in the red here. That's a better color. It's Artosis, guys. Get the Artosis Pepes going. The Artosis cheers. No one can say this man does not love StarCraft. He did lose 3-4 to this Protoss player. Canadian StarCraft legend played Zerg in StarCraft 2. Is playing Protoss in StarCraft 1, guys. Let's get the Scarlet Pepes going here. It's Scarlet, and we are at turn rate 12 here, so the latency is not ideal, but this should be doable. It's not like one side's necessarily gonna get a boost here. So, again, I'm very excited to cast this game, like, as a fan, honestly, of these two. This is going to be very interesting. And I'm not sure who's going to take it. No in-game music? Oh, I can fix that. 1 second. Options. Okay, easy. easy game. How's that sound? Is that good with the balance of my voice? Sound good? Perfect? Okay. It's Terran music. Could be a sign. Excelente. Okay, so we're on the map Polypoid. Let's zoom out here. This is, I guess it doesn't show up that well on screen. This is the biggest map out of all the available StarCraft maps. This could be a burden for Terran, but they are both sharing the bottom here. So, the biggest feature in pretty much any matchup on this map that plays a role is this base here, this high ground area. There's a mineral-only expansion, but a lot of times we'll see fights or a lack of fights because of that location on the map. So that's definitely something to watch for. What's up, Special? Good to see you, Juanito. Who do you think's going to win this, by the way? Can you guys post your predictions here? What do you think the score is going to be? Game results and winner. Artosis 4-1, Scarlett. People who say 4-0 are crazy, man. So it looks like it's leaning maybe 60% Scarlett, 40% Urtosis. One thing about Urtosis that I've noticed as his friend and as a teammate of his on media for a while is he is wildly inconsistent. Like, he definitely knows the game very well. But sometimes he looks unstoppable and sometimes he shits the bed. So this match specifically, I'm very curious to see how this is going to go. So, and by the way, I'm going to keep this cast fairly basic here because I know that not everybody's diehard Brood War. So the SCV's been killed, and we're now going to get an idea of what Scarlett's going to have planned for this game. And this is going to be a Nexus right away. Nexus before the second Dragoon is out. And she's actually not cutting probes to make a third Dragoon. Artosis is doing a quick expand as well. Explain in terms of crossfire. Excuse me, guys. Sorry, I just woke up like a half hour ago. So I'm still getting booted up here. No Special. I think Artosis is too afraid to gasless expand in a lot of his games. There's a lot of cheese Protoss can do against that. And so it's going to be the Academy next here. Let's keep in mind, Scarlett did some cheesy builds in the last series they played. Now, I don't know if she's going to do that this time around. I was actually surprised. Like, she did some super quick DT rushes and some other stuff. I don't know what she's going to do this time. But last time they played on this map, she did a double Dark Templar drop. Artosis is doing his famous Sam the Eagle look right now. Yeah. You've been watching Kala's stream. Kala is quite good. He's definitely somebody you should be following if you like StarCraft. Probably the best, him and Boneth are the best Protoss streamers. Oh, no, you're right. It was on Circuit Breakers. I'm sorry, Moderately Chill. You're completely correct. Double DT drop was on Circuit Breakers. Polypoid was the game 7 for these two. So this is cool that they flipped it and now it's game 1. So, I don't believe Artosis will commit with this push. We're going to see. Looks like he's going to lay some mines and try to run around with the Vulture. Now, this has actually caused Scarlett to overreact. There's a lot of Terran players that that do quick pushes here. So this is... okay, so she made the battery, but she canceled it. So Scarlett had a very good read there. But she needs to be ready for the Vulture that's going to come around here. This Vulture still has 1 mine. Now, because Artosis went mines, he doesn't have siege yet. He's probably upgrading that now. The Protoss's duty is to try to figure out what, if siege mode's been upgraded, because when siege mode is upgraded, you can usually just play more economically. So this is annoying for Scarlett. She does have an observer coming. What's going on with Artosis? Armory. And 2 factories for now. So everything about this signals not a fast push. Can we get a score above my head? I can ask my editor. Hold on a second, chat. I'll see if my stream manager can get a score above my head, guys. But I'm going to keep casting this. So, yeah, this should be a little bit of a slow start. Excuse me. Damn. And here's the command center. So Artosis wants to go for a slow game here. This is like proper Terran playing. No 2 factory or a quick push. No 5 factory push. Command center is going to be landed here. And we're going to be in for a slow game. This will probably be a +2 attack, +1 armor push. Thank you guys who are subbing. My alerts are going to go off after the cast because, well, for obvious reasons, it's going to be too distracting. But the support for the channel is appreciated. If we get to 1,500 subs, I will cosplay as Santa Claus on stream. And so Scarlett's going to tech into Arbiters. Possibly with Storm later on. So this is the traditional PvT play. There's a more modern, very modern actually, super trendy play of players who go for Storm with speed shuttles, which may be one of the strongest ways to play this matchup now. But it looks like Scarlett's going to go for Arbiters. And Arbiters are perfectly fine and strong. Only 2 probes and natural gas from Scarlett. Very good catch, chat. Very good catch. I would not have noticed that. That actually is quite bad for Scarlett. If you're going for an Arbiter Rush and you have 1 probe not in gas, you're going to end up in a problem. For sure. Did she fix it? She did not fix it. I bet I wished all chats helped during my cast now. Now, I'm curious about how this is going to impact the game, because this expansion, I mean, just for obvious reasons, it's not a long distance for Artosis to push. It is a high ground area. But some players prefer to take this space up here and just stay away. So, Scarlett, let me talk about, I think, the parts that both players struggle with. I think Scarlett is a great player and actually is quite strong at Brood War and late game because she's very good at StarCraft 2 late game. And despite elitism from both games, I actually think StarCraft 2 late game is very, very, very multitasking intensive. And so she's very good at the juggling aspect. I think she sometimes struggles with some of the weird nuanced parts of StarCraft 1 and the pacing of it. And she has said she has a hard time against Terran in the late game. But I think Artosis, this is his weakest matchup, I think, easily. And he definitely feels very strongly about this matchup if you watch his stream. But I think a lot of times he has a hard time closing it out when he can. Does that make sense? And I think especially with the giant army, like when he's maxed out, I think that's when he's weaker. I think Artosis is a much stronger mid-game and early game player. And TVP, excuse me, late game, he's it's probably where he suffers. Guys, again, do get out there. We're trying to promote Brood War. in these show matches. This is actually what all the Korean pros do, is they organize these show matches and cast them and watch them together. And they've got a great scene going for it, and it's great to do during Corona. I just did a show match against Special earlier. We'll probably do another one down the road. But yeah, guys, get out there and help us promote this stuff. It's fun to do. I think there's... Does anybody know the prize pool? I actually forgot to check. I think it's $2,000. Is that right? Or $1,000 for this? Yeah, thank you, Ryan. If you can get that set up, that would be great. It's over 1K. $1,385 on the line here for the prize pool. So this is no joke. We're gonna find out if Artosis' kids can get braces or not. Now, she's got a lot of gateways down here. She's looking quite strong as far as macro goes. This is where she doesn't really miss a beat here. And Artosis is going to take the 4th. No, he's not. This is a barracks. Excuse me, guys. Thought it was a floating CC. And Artosis is almost maxed out. So this is going to be it. Let me zoom out big picture here. Look at this great position here from Scarlett. Now, she should have enough for a stasis, which will probably go right there. Yeah. How is this going to actually go, though? This is quite a bit of tanks, and the stasis is making it a little bit difficult for the Zealots to get here. I guess not, actually. Oh, shit! Okay, but again, I don't know if Artosis is in as bad a condition as it looks. I think this is going to thaw. He can max out. He only has 2 add-ons. I don't actually know the correct number of add-ons for Terran. But that's 2 tanks at a time, obviously. Is he actually going to go for it? Okay. Now, I want to lay something out big picture here. Artosis knows the builds, he knows the ordering, but after the initial push, I feel like this is when it tends to get chaotic for Artosis. Now, again, I don't know about the siege tanks in the front and the unsieged tanks in the back here. Scarlett's going to lose this fight. No more Zealots here, as long as Artosis keeps scanning. We've got 100 energy. Oh, wow. She's actually got a great stasis there. Okay, she's just so good at producing. This is truly impressive. What? 4, 8, 10, 12 gateways. Okay, she's just actually overpowering him. Yeah, macro is on point. Now, not only is she going to win, but she's actually just running over him here. I think she was looking for a stasis here, which would be a great way to close this out. Something went wrong here with Artosis' build. I wish we had time to look at the replay. Because usually Protoss has to counterattack versus this. Oh, well, he's at 1-1. Did he only have 1 armory? Only 1 armory? Let me just see. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Is that a second armory? No, that's a depot. Sorry, guys. I'm just checking before we end this game. GG. Do we have any Terran pro gamers in the chat? Like any A rank or S rank Terrans in the chat? Is Special here now? I just don't know if that's a build, the only 1 armory, 3 bases. Hold on. Shit. It's not on the TL sidebar? It's supposed to be. Okay, so I don't know if he's... It's on the TL sidebar. Thank you, guys. I just wanted to make sure. So I'm not sure. I mean, if there's a Terran Pro in here that can let me know. It seems like there was an armory missing. I'm not sure about 3 bases and 1 armory. I saw 1-1, but the thing is, +2 attack is really what melts a Terran army. And, you know, it's particularly with the siege tanks. So, oh, sorry. I gotta get 2 observers. I'm stuck. Was a science facility late? So it seems like Artosis tripped up a little bit in his build. I'm going to turn alerts on for a second here.
You're too caught up in theory. Oh, thank you, game theory expert from MIT, you fucking moron.
That is a very well-timed alert for that.
You're so good. You're so good, you fucking idiot.
All right, guys, this is game 2. Scarlett with a 1-0 lead. Your support for the channel is appreciated, guys.
You're
Thank
so
you.
good. You're so good, you fucking idiot.
All right, in the top right, in the red, the salty
Not a
Terran.
fucking free wins Protoss players get. Terran never gets a fucking free win ever.
Pause my alerts again. Thank you for the sub. It's Artosis here in the red, guys. Look at those Artosis Pepes going here. Shit, hold on. I closed my chat out. Okay, here we go. It's Artosis. I never noticed there's a little symbol there on the command center. And over here in the blue, let's get those Scarlet Pepes going here. Protoss player. Legend from StarCraft 2, showing that you can be amazing in StarCraft 1. It's been fascinating to see the crossover back and forth. StarCraft 1 and 2 pros switching back and forth. And this is on the map Eclipse. Now, one-on-one maps, Protoss have way more build orders they can do. Way more. And a lot of them involve gas steals or proxy gates. But it doesn't look like Scarlett's going to do any of that, and that would make sense. I feel like you have to really pour a lot of time into Protoss cheese to get the hang of that. And Scarlett has taken more of just a... it's not bad at all. It's actually a good way to learn the game. Just a very generic, straight-up macro play. She's taken that route. So we're not going to have a gas steal, which I think that's actually good for her, because I think Artosis is quite good against that type of play. Oh, I'm sorry. I hit the tab key. Yeah, I was wondering why the minimap was so dark. So you can see he's already checking for gateways here. He'll probably look down here and then up here. Someone should throw some Brood War ads into the melee charity. I don't even know how to do that. But I am a big fan of melee, so... Definitely check out their stream for sure. Happy to cross-promote. So, yeah, we've got a very normal opening here from Scarlett. We're going to see if it gets crazy. The early game in PvT is really about... Excuse me, one second, chat. I still got sleep in my eyes from waking up. The early game in PvT is very much about the Terran fending off the Protoss, if the Protoss elects to do anything aggressive early on. Terran is very weak in the early game and remarkably strong in the late game. Although I do think Artosis' late game is still his weakest part of PvT. Sorry, guys. I had a surgery on my sinus, so There's a little bit of blood occasionally coming out of my nose. So I'll be blowing my nose a lot during this this stream. Too much cocaine. Oh, he's gonna go for 2 factory. Okay. So this is one of the few builds where Terran can absolutely smash a Protoss player. Completely and totally. And I think this is a good move here by Artosis. Scarlett's setting up for a fight over the over where the command center would be. But Artosis is doing something very different. Hey, what's up, Song Farmer? Good to have you in the chat. My old college roommate. Now, this is... I think Scarlett should pick up on this, because when you don't see a command center down here, it's a little bit suspect. But if Scarlett takes a Nexus, and it looks like she will, she's playing into the hands of Artosis a little bit, depending on how well Artosis does this. The goal is to basically push the Protoss and to then contain them, and then to take a very late second base. So Artosis is going to send an SCV out. Now, this is a bit of a red herring because Protoss never wants SCVs getting in their base. Oh, he stopped it from moving. That's not good. That's 1 shot away from being killed. He wants to have a Dragoon go chase that down and try to kill it. Now, look at this. There's 3 here. He kept these back. I think this is the build where 2 more tanks come out, and then it's only Vultures. Scarlett was trying to play a bit like Kala, which is the 1 Zealot, 3 Dragoon rush to take a fight over the command center. Yeah, TT1's right in the chat. She didn't cut probes for the second gate. So here we go. Now the Marines are mainly here to just soak up shots. If they get across the map, you can make a bunker, but it's... 4 Dragoons can 2-shot a tank, and that's why when they have 3 Dragoons out here, before the 4th can get here, that's when you have a lot of momentum. But tank positioning is key. Artosis is going to stop and repair for a second. I'm not sure how much that helped. And now the 5th Dragoon's out. Now this is where she has to take the fight, and I actually got a lot to say about this, but let's see how the rest of this fight actually goes. So I want to go big picture. I don't think Terran should ever push through here because of the high ground. I think the better way to do this is to go through the low ground up this way. Because the tanks just lose the fight on the from low ground to high ground. Okay, so here come the Vultures. I don't know if he forgot anything. I don't think Artosis was supply blocked, but I wasn't looking. He can lay mines here. This is pretty sick. Okay, this is pretty nasty. Do we have an observer? I don't see one. I don't see any observer. Oh my god! Oh, you're kidding me. It shot that down? This is the moment now. Scarlett's got 1 battery. And is pushing through here. Observer's out. Holy shit. Okay, tanks are not in a bad spot here, but Artosis needs to be careful because if they start to target, they're going to start to target the tanks. Things can get very, very slippery here. Again, Scarlett has to do this dance very carefully because if she steps on a mine, she's going to lose all of her Dragoons, but she's actually got just amazing control here. Siege mode's done, but this is looking like Protoss can take this. You pretty much need siege tanks like here, and you need to be hitting the Nexus. But again, I love Artosis. I got to be a little bit critical. I don't know about pushing from high ground to low, unless his whole game plan was to put mines here. But it does, if I'm looking at this right, Protoss always has an observer here. Okay, now turrets are coming in here. So this is really a headache for the Protoss. Protoss, let's see here. What is she actually getting? I don't like the observer mode in remastered. It's hard to actually see what's going on here. So she's going to push. Now, I don't know about this either. It depends on if these mines go off and... Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh. Oh, my God. The tank is so low. Is she just going to go for it? No, she backs up. This can go either way. This can absolutely go either way. Now, Terran is low on tanks, which is an issue. Yeah, I think Scarlett wins this. You need more tanks. Again, the probes have not been forced away, so Protoss mines at a pretty scary amount here. I mean, it's obvious, but 2 base is much stronger than one base, and this is going to be the end here. Yeah, you know, the key to stopping... Oh, my God! The SCV couldn't repair. Yeah, now, on paper, Protoss wins this. It's Brood War, so it can go, you know, in a lot of different directions, but absolutely, this is... Where was all these units, by the way? Felt like we were watching for a while. Not much there. Problem now is that Protoss has broken free from the Terran contain. And that's really all Protoss has to do for early game, is not get wrapped up in a contain and they're fine. Now, this is, again, this is... I don't know where this army was a minute ago because we had 1 tank and a vulture fighting down here. Oh, good targeting, but Artosis pulls away. He sieges up. Again, he's got to be careful because there's a shuttle on the map. Now, the traditional approach to the 2 factory is to go for a Reaver because you both stop the push and you can drop and hit SCVs because they never have an eBay when they do this. But Scarlett doesn't seem to know that tech. And so I think she should win this game from here, but this is a little bit, how do I say this? You're not countering what they're doing as much as you're trying to just win the fight up here. Does that make sense, chat? Oh, there is an eBay here. Excuse me. Durr, you have a turret up here. But either way, they usually don't have turrets back here. They neglect turrets. But yeah, a Reaver is usually a great way to play it from here. Now, do we have a Citadel? Okay, sometimes there's a Citadel underneath where the mini-map is. The Speed Zealots is the other route that allows you to break this. You usually can't just break it with Dragoons. So Artosis actually can still win this. Oh my God. Oh my God. Artosis' tanks are too spread out. 1 tank here, but 2 more back here that weren't covering quite. Now this may mislead Scarlett, where she's going to think that she's won the fight when there's actually stuff spaced out. One of the tricks for Terran in this position is to almost overplant mines. That's why we're seeing mines like this, like here and here, and here and here. It's hard to bulldoze your way through it. This is an overextension. Damn. So Scarlett's up in supply, but there's no Zealot speed upgrade yet. What's he doing? Okay, he just wants to make sure nobody goes around. These factories should, I think, only be making tanks. It does, I might be wrong, it does seem like Artosis hasn't had that many tanks in this game in general. We also probably need to have some more SCVs here. Again, Scarlett did not go for counter drops, has not got an expansion up here. So it's 2 base to 2 base. So Artosis is actually catching up. Where's that Citadel, man? Am I not seeing it, chat? Am I blind like I was with the eBay? I don't see the Citadel. No, I don't see it anywhere. Well, no, chat. It's probably too late for a Reaver. The Reaver has to come as the 2-factory push is coming out here. She's going to try to break here. These Zealots are going to be what takes it home here. Okay, she's broken free. This is the second time she's broken the contain. I feel like there's been some bad rallying here by Artosis. You know, for the Protoss, if you push them further back, even if this push is still coming, you're fine. Because this contain and this contain are irrelevant. Oh, shit. Oh, my God. Now, that idea is good, but I will tell you this. Artosis has given up the position now because the Vultures don't cover the tanks. Still no Citadel. This is a rough game for both these players. Okay, so we're actually going to go into a normal PvT here. But this is advantage Protoss for sure. So let me go big picture on this map. The problem for Terran is that this is your 3rd base. This is a huge distance to cover, and a lot of this terrain isn't buildable, where these little metal squares are, rectangles are. So you're kind of stuck on 2 base, and this is where Protoss can exploit this. Now, I don't know how much of a student of this map Scarlett is, because I can't remember, did they play on this map last time? I'm not sure, but either way, this is one of the newer maps, but a lot of the higher level play, Protoss is just trying to keep the Terran from taking the 3rd and win that way. Excuse me. Artosis has just now made the armory, so we're gonna have +1 attack coming here. Let me do a quick check before we have a fight. There is a forge. Okay, so upgrades are coming. But this is gonna be very difficult. Artosis has made a lot of tanks. He's gonna try to snake them out like this. And then try to squeeze a command center up here. But this is a lot of times where you see Terrans get broken here. Having the floating buildings here is a must. Anything that can draw Dragoon Fire is a must. But Scarlett's... Oh, hold on. Here we go. Now, there's a pretty good minefield here. The shuttle doesn't get over the tanks, which is a pretty big deal. There's Vultures coming down. There's not that many Zealots left over here, but I think this number is overwhelming enough that Scarlett just wins. I think this is like rock beating paper and rock, scissors, paper here. Like, yeah, there's just too many Dragoons. Normally the siege tanks are the counter to the Dragoons, but this is too much. I would not be surprised if he does GG now. There it is. 2-0. Now, I want to point out, as much as both these players are my friends, and I have a lot of respect for them and they're higher ranked than me, they both were playing pretty... that was pretty rough on both sides. Scarlett did not have Zealot. The Zealot speed upgrade, while being contained on 2-factory, not proper tech. Artosis seemed to have some issue with rallying as well. So this could go either way. Let me turn my alerts back on here. Thank you, everybody who's subbing.
Fucking go write in a journal about what you think you know about Brood War and then light it on fire. Because you don't know anything.
Thank you.
The amount of fucking free wins Protoss players get. Terran never gets a fucking free win ever.
Spoken from the heart. In my alerts here. 5,
Hey, you
5.
fucking idiot in the chat.
Whoops.
You are terrible at everything. You want to talk about my minerals in the bank? Let's see you play. Fucking asshole.
Okay.
Not a fucking free wins Protoss players get. Terran never gets a fucking free win ever.
Guys, we are trying to get to that 1,500 sub goal. We're very far away from it.
Fucking piece of shit.
Your support is appreciated. We are going to be doing the Cyberpunk stream. I think we fixed all the issues that were stopping us from having that. So we'll be doing that after we're done with the show match here. I hope we get to go to Game 7.
Asshole. I can't wait for him to just rally units at me.
That's one of the newer alerts. I think we've got like 55 or maybe even more Artosis alerts. Only some of them are turned on.
You're too caught up in theory. Oh, thank you, game theory expert from MIT, you fucking moron.
Artosis is truly a national treasure that is just residing outside his own
Asshole.
country.
I can't wait for him to just rally units at me.
Thank you, everybody, for who's been supporting the channel. I love you guys. In the bottom left, in the red, he needs to fucking come back, okay? In this America versus Canada match, the long, bitter rivalry of America and Canada from the US of A is Artosis. Guys, can we get some Artosis Pepes? Some America cheers. Not cheer Canada yet. Jesus, chat. Each side gets a cheer here. There we go. Some America, some Artosis Pepes. All right. Here we go. Top left. Protoss. The most polite nation in the world. Let's get the Scarlett Pepes going, guys.
What the fuck? This is what I'm talking about. Imagine being frustrated. You have to play idiots. This is a waste of my life.
Yeah, people who gift 5 subs or more, we have a video alert. If you're going to do it, though, I'm going to pause the alerts for now. They'll play after we finish Game 3 here. Thank you for the gifted 5 subs. Love you, buddy. Okay, so we're on Circuit Breakers. This is one of the 2 maps that, if you're going to learn the game, I don't think these maps are ever going to be not in the map pool. Again, I see some of you guys are subbing. I promise you the alerts will go off just after the cast here. And guys, spread the word about this show match. So let's talk about this map here. Big picture, this train is not buildable, and there's no obstructions here. So Terran tends to not want to try to push early. There's not a lot of bottlenecks that you can try to, like, abuse. So you usually have raw Terran powering and Protoss powering. Again, guys, we got a lot of subs coming in. I promise those alerts are going to go off after the game. I do appreciate it. I am noticing it. I just don't want the alerts to be a distraction from the game itself here. Someone in chat says spawns are good for Terran. They're not bad. There are pushes you can do. Protoss ideally want to have cross spawns on this map. Excuse me, sorry. Now, I've watched Artosis stream a decent amount. It's usually what I throw on when I'm waking up and getting ready for my day in my house. I wake up later than him because he has kids he brings to school. So usually I'm waking up, he's already streaming. He likes to go for 4 base or 3 base on this. And, you know, the problem is when Artosis plays like this is really what Scarlett likes to do best. Like, Scarlett struggled against the 2 factory, and I think Artosis could have won that. Oh, does he always go for quick 4 base? Yeah. So, I am interested in seeing what he's going to do on this map. Okay, Scarlett's going to go for a quick Dark Templar drop. Now, we saw her do this before. She did 2 drops here. Tasteless is a chunk of coal now. Guys, my beard has been gray for years. They just color it when we go on camera for the cast. I'm 36, man. I'm a boomer gamer. I'm worried for Artosis because I feel like DT Rush is exactly what he's going to lose to here. Like, he does struggle against certain cheeses. But I'll tell you what, man. DT drop, if it doesn't work or you lose the shuttle and the Dark Templars, you're pretty screwed. Now, excuse me. We got to see when the eBay is going to come down. Is this it? Okay, eBay's here. I think usually when you go for a DT drop, even in these spawns, you go for the main first. She did a double DT drop last time, so 2 shuttles, each with DTs. Did he scout it? I don't think so. If you scout this, you can't even go for the drop. Now, do we have an academy? That's the other thing we want to watch for. There's 3 things that Terran have that stop Dark Templars. It's the turret, which can see the DTs, obviously. The scan, which can see them, but, you know, a scan is never enough. But a scan's a good fix if you lose position here. And the third is a spider mine, which doesn't need to see them, but will detect them and detonate. Now, Artosis is going for an immediate 2-factory push, and I like this a lot. But I will tell you, the DTs can stop this. This can go either way. One does not necessarily counter the other. Should cancel the archive. No, why would you ever cancel the archive? What, are you just going to have a Citadel? So, I think Artosis, now it comes down to this turret. And, again, she has 2 DTs. Here we go, here we go. No scan, no scan. But a turret is coming, and mines are coming down. Oh, my God. I'm really shocked he has these down here. I feel like these need to be behind the pylon. Now, Artosis has got to be careful. A DT will 2 strikes from a DT and a vulture dies. Four strikes from a DT on a tank and the tank dies. He needs another turret. And he should not have these tanks by these mines. He just should not. Oh my God, man. Oh man. Oh man. Pick up. Oh my God. Oh my God. This is so close. Okay, the shuttle goes down. I can't believe that mine wasn't dragged into the tanks, but of course Scarlett doesn't know where the mines are. We see everything. Nexus will go down. I don't know if Scarlett's going to stay. Protoss can fight back from this, but it is among the hardest positions in the entire game. In all the matchups to recover from is Terran with mines and turrets and a second base and you on one. Now, where is the rest of his stuff? What is going on here? Oh my God, I missed the drop. I'm so sorry, guys. I missed that. There's been some kind of DT drop over here. Scarlett's fighting back. And Artosis is going to have to abandon this position. I can't believe this. Scarlett loses the DT. Yeah, there was a great counterattack here by Scarlett. I'm sorry I dropped the ball there. This is crazy. Scarlett's going to go back for a double expand. She's actually fended off the attack, but Artosis did win the fight, and he did not lose these tanks. That's very important. Yeah, chat, you're correct. Scarlett did not lose that many probes. That is correct. Oh, shit. Nope, we're okay. I thought she got disconnected. Yeah, Monk a W, dude. Okay. Game goes on. Now, let's take a look at the tech here for Scarlett. 4 gates. Excuse me. No Citadel. Oh, I'm sorry. Of course there's a Citadel. It's a DT rush. I was thinking about the last game. DT tech is here, but DTs are, DTs are funny units. They're not like Reavers where you can just... You can use them in fights the same way. Like, a Reaver is a much more versatile unit. A DT is either insanely powerful or almost useless, depending on how the engagement goes. So, I think the ideas from Scarlett are good. And a lot of this is to actually bait scans out. Usually when you see Dark Templar tech, the natural progression tech-wise for Protoss is to go into Arbiter. And so the role of the Dark Templar is to milk scans here so that the Arbiter... There's a chance that Terran has one less scan sometimes in a fight and just dies to an invisible army. So, this is something that happens to Terrans if they do, whether it's a 2-factory rush like Game 2 or a expand into 2-factory, is they're oftentimes not going to get a 3rd base easily, so it becomes a 2-base powering Terran. I don't know if that's always like the case, but everything that I understand about the game from playing and watching, it just never seems like they're going to get a 3rd right away. Oh my god. No. Oh my god. Artosis is sieging, but everything is stacked. And the tanks were not grouped. A DT's here. It's going to be going after these tanks right now. Oh, man. I don't feel like Urtosis was really ready with his army out here on the map. Having these tanks on the high ground is going to help a lot, but I think Terran is just barely going to lose this. And those are all the assets that Terran had. I mean, the tanks are the units that win you the game. The Vultures are sort of there to assist unless Protoss is neglecting defending probes, which I just don't think Scarlett... It's not going to happen. StarCraft 2 players never seem to just give up workers in StarCraft 1. Too much of StarCraft 2 is just endlessly attacking people's workers, so they're pretty good at that. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think this could have gone either way, but it seemed like some of Artosis' stuff was here, and then some of it was here. You know, Terran is funny because their armies can be either incredibly strong or incredibly brittle. Now, this is, I think the ideas are not bad, but again, Scarlett basically has preempted this with the pylons. And the problem is that, and this is, I think, something I've seen with Artosis sometimes, is when he loses his tanks, he will send his vultures out on the map, but then he loses the vultures, right? So, you know, if you don't get anything out of this, now in this case, it looks like they're going to get away, which is good. But, yeah, this is pretty rough. Okay, so Terran is going to take a 3rd. Now, I do want to point out, our Scarlett's just now taking a 4th. We don't have... What the fuck? Okay, so Scarlett, this actually happens to even the best players. She remade the Templar Archives as she was getting the Stargate because she is going to tech to Arbiters, and you always make these buildings at the same time. We see this in GSL sometimes, too, with good players. So, I got to point out here, as rough as it's been for Artosis, Scarlett is really late on her tech. So, I don't think a recall is going to be coming here. Well, it's physically impossible for recall to come for a while now. Now, she may try to go for a bust here, I don't see speed zealots with this. This would be a big no-no for Scarlett. By the way, guys, be sure to open up the stream on each channel, even if you're just watching one of them or listening to one of them. It helps bump Brood War higher on Twitch and give us more visibility to help the game. Okay, so she's going for it. Let's zoom out big picture here. This is a crazy number of speed lots, but it seems like Scarlett didn't quite have a grasp on where the tanks were. There's not that much up here. A lot of these zealots went this way. So Artosis wins this fight. This is huge. This is huge. Artosis can absolutely win this game. The comeback is real. +1 attack. Are there 2 armories? I hate that I can't see the lower part of the map. Is that an armory? Armory. Science facility. Arbiter coming. What are the upgrades for Scarlett? 0-0. This is a best of 7, chat. Scarlett really had a bad attack in there. When I was talking to Scarlett before she left Korea, she was saying she actually finds it really hard to play late game against Terran. I do too. Don't tell Artosis we said that, but I find for Protoss, as Terran gets enough tanks with the upgrades, it's like, here's the truth. Terran upgrades mathematically scale better than Protoss upgrades do, which is why Protoss has to win with Stasis, with Carriers, with Storm, because the units actually are better. 3-3 upgraded mech is better than 3-3-3 upgraded Protoss by an insane amount. But the fact that Artosis already has an upgrade lead, he's at +1. Excuse me. When he gets to +2, especially siege tank damage, gets pretty insane. So this is a game Artosis can win for sure. Because Scarlett really misplayed. Possibly the biggest misplay of this whole series, honestly, was that big attack over here. Everybody who's subbing, I love you guys. We'll have alerts on in between games. So I'm noticing it. They're not going off because we don't want to mess with the cast. Some water here. So this game's going to slow down. Let's go big picture. As you guys can see on the mini-map here, this is easily going to be Protoss' top half and Terran's lower quadrant. Terran in both StarCraft 1 and StarCraft 2 struggle to hold bases that are on the other side of the map. It can be done, and we might have it in the series, but the Protoss army is much more fluid because these units, when they get to fights, they just attack. They don't have to, like, lay mines or siege up like these units. These units are better when used correctly, but mobility's on Protoss' side, and we're already seeing Scarlett snake her expansions through. She'll probably expand here and here. But listen, man, Terran only need 3 or 4 bases sometimes for an entire game to win. They don't need that much. Now, we also want to watch for the recall. I don't feel like Artosis is recall-proof at all. He has mines here, though, which means that Scarlett could recall and just lose everything. Hold on, chat. Excuse me. All right, I'm back. Scarlett may try to push here. Artosis always makes us wall in down here at the bottom. I don't think this is... Well, hold on. How much is actually here? Yeah, I don't know that she should do this. I think she's better off waiting. Yeah, good call to back up there. She's going to have to wait it out. Artosis has sealed himself off very well. So now we wait. Now we got to just have a slow game. where we're going to see Artosis. And by the way, I feel like this is Artosis at his weakest in the matchup. From my experience of watching him, is in the late game. I think he does struggle with his control with his main army. Upgrades is 2-1. I think they just became 2-1, by the way. Scarlett is at 1-0 with 2 forges. But Terran upgrades, this is going to be scary. And by the way, when you get not even 2-1, but 3-2, it's crazy how strong you become. Now, it's going to become time for Artosis to push. The Protoss doesn't have to actually do that much. By the way, the final part that Scarlett needs to do here is make something like 10 gateways here. Protoss against a top-tier Terran. If all your gateways are here, Terran can actually push and contain you and then kill off each of these bases over here. Can I talk about the supply and what that means for the state of the game? Well, let's first talk about Artosis' macro state. There's something going on here, because he's not quite mining like he should be. I don't know what his SCV count is, but I feel like this is very low. Right? He should have maybe more SCVs, but because he should be maxing out around now here, too. So, I don't know if he's going to push just yet. He might have to wait for 3-2 here. Scarlett definitely has enough probes. Keep in mind she has more bases. Probe distribution is pretty much perfect. Maybe there's like... maybe just like a little bit too much here, but it's pretty much perfect. Artosis seems to be lacking in his workers. But again, Scarlett may overextend here. I mean, this is kind of the weird part for Protoss is... you don't get to see what Terran's doing a lot of times inside here, so you don't really know what the state of the game is. Yeah, I know he lost SCVs to the DT earlier, Big Nick Norris, but, I mean, this has been a long game. So, Scarlett's where she needs to be, but Artosis, as time passes here, is going to end up with a stronger army. Now, is she just going to go for it? This is how Protoss closed the game, by the way. You need to have gateways everywhere. And on a 4-player map, see, this is what I'm talking about. You make gateways here and cannons. Gateways here and cannons. Because even though the Terran's army, and by the way, he's about to max out now. Even though the Terran army is stronger and can win fights over and over, pushing up ramps... because of you can't have all your entire army on one hotkey is a nightmare for Terran with the cannons and the extra gateways. The last thing she'll need will be maybe carrier tech or Psystorm. Or she can just keep making arbiters out of this. There's a lot of ways that the game can end here. Yeah, TT1, you do make a good point in the chat. She doesn't have enough arbiters. You want to have like 4 at this point, or 5 even. And so Urtosis is going to push out here. And I will tell you guys, this can go either way. I know it looks like Scarlett has the entire map. Oh, hold on, recall. All right, this is not bad. She's also going to try to attack it. Let me go out big picture here. So we have the attack coming in here. The army's going to retreat. She's going to be crushing over here. She takes out the scanner. A nice little victory there. This is 3 attack, 2 armor against +2 attack, 1 armor. And you guys are already seeing like, oh, hoo, 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 hoo. Artosis smashes that. And really doesn't lose that much. I mean, some SCVs were killed, but that's fine, right? But he needs to push out. Like now. Now's the moment that Terran has to unsiege and go. And I'm worried we're not going to have that. Another Arbiter. The thing about this, too, is there's not anywhere that you can really recall now, right? Mines are everywhere. Okay. Are we going to have it? Is he going to push? Okay, here we go. Here we go. Is Artosis going to move out? I think he needs to. I think he's probably binding his hotkeys. Probably 1 through 5 or 6 here with his Terran army. He's going to go for it. Now, Scarlett has a lot of resources. I know some of the people in chat are very excited about that. You're supposed to have a ton of resources in this phase of the game, because you have to be able to remake your entire army in, like, 1 round. Like, all these gateways, as the fight happens, every gateway remakes a unit. I'm worried Artosis is moving too slowly, though, here. Scarlett's caught up with +2 attack, +3 armor, but again, remember, the Terran upgrades are better. So 3/3 tanks and vultures. Oh, recall. Where? Wait. What? What? I think the Arbiter was killed wherever it was. Arbiter died. All right. Big loss there for Scarlett. Again, I'm worried Artosis is moving too slowly here. He's going to try to snake his tanks up through here. Just go big picture here. Scarlett does not have any more Arbiters for recall. Only 1 Arbiter for stasis. She is getting Templars here. Okay. She's going to try to come around here. I don't know if this is a good idea either. Maybe she wants to stasis these tanks. Is this going to work? I feel like Artosis is paralyzed on the map here. Oh, this is a mistake here by Scarlett. This is just not a good engagement. Oh, Jesus. Spider mines are good. Oh, my God! It's fine. Okay. We're in a 25-minute game here, by the way. So, again, we need Artosis to push out. He needs to actually do something here on the map. It's hard, though. It's really hard in Brood War. Doing anything in Brood War is just very difficult and frustrating. Okay. Nice control here. The push is continuing to go up to the north here. 1 DT. Nice catch. Artosis is going to push... It looks like up here, and I guess he wants to expand. Let's just do a quick mineral check here. This is going to mine out. Both these bases are going to mine out shortly here. These bases are actually quite mineral rich, so we can go in this game for a long time. Scarlett has so many bases that there's no easy way to mine this out quickly. But if Artosis takes the 5th, we could be in here for an insanely long period of time. Especially, he's not mining at those bases over there. I would be very curious to see how many SCVs Artosis has in this game. Okay, an attack here from below. EMP'd on the Arbiter, very nice, and the Arbiter goes down. And this is the power of the Terran upgrades here. Now, again, I feel like Artosis needs to, like, go. Like, he needs to pull the trigger right away here. Okay, here we go. Another attack coming up here. Hey, what's up, Maynard? Good to see you, man. Big attack coming. EMP there on the Arbiters. Okay, this is going to be the big moment because he's going to push in. But Scarlett has succeeded in having gateways up over here. Yeah, what happened to all of our viewership? We just lost like 2,000 viewers or something? What is going on here? Is it a bug? All right. Just wondering. That's like a shocking amount of people to suddenly not have here. Okay, so we have another attack coming through here. Artosis has this base. This is very important. And even though Scarlett has the map, this many siege tanks, let's watch. We're going to see what Terran power looks like. One Vulture killed in that entire fight. Let's see, is +3 armor going to come in here soon? No, Artosis isn't getting it yet. Okay. This is a great counterattack. Again, this is a lot of map that Artosis has to clean here. I think Scarlett should win this game, but she's got to be careful, and this is something she said she struggles with specifically. Now, also keep in mind that the tech can be reset over here. Oh, God, I don't know about the siege here. I'm not going to lie, guys, I'm rooting for Artie here. If Artosis can clean this up, it'll force all the tech to be remade on the right. Scarlett's going to go with a counterattack here. But she's just not able to make a dent anywhere. Scarlett's getting the shield upgrades as well, by the way. And Terran wants to expand here. We've got ourselves a late game TVP here. Now, how many probes are actually available for Scarlett? Let's take a look. 6. 6. So 10 plus 6, 16. So that's almost 20. Oh, okay. No, she has a lot here. So she has enough probes on the right side of the map that she can keep mining pretty well here. Artosis, again, this base just hasn't been mined from for a while. And I don't see where the rest of the SCVs are. So even though Artosis has had a great play, I think he didn't have the macro engine set up so that he could replenish anything he lost. So even though Terran armies, units are better in the late game, he's just losing too much. Again, though, he can keep roaming the map and picking off armies like this. Tanks, so strong here. The question, though, is can he stop this? Can he stop this? Hard to imagine, right? Scarlett putting a Nexus here so the command center can't even land. So the tanks are going to regroup now. And Artosis needs to push through the right. Now, again, this game is going at a pretty slow pace here, right? But there's a couple things to note. Terran's reclaimed this, but I think the more interesting story is going to be if Terran can take this. Because if Terran takes the right side of the map, which is completely doable, Terran can actually win the game in split map. We were talking in the cast earlier about how Terran really can't take bases on the other side of the map. It's hard. This is a situation, end of map, where you can. If he can get some tanks here and make a command center here and put tanks up here, he can still win the game. Excuse me. So the push is coming here now. Artosis is scanning. And this really is going to be a remarkable comeback here if Artosis can win this game. Keep in mind, the probes, I think literally about half the probes are actually in the lower right. Maybe a little bit less, but enough that you have to take it pretty seriously. There's not a lot of units here. I mean, Zealots alone aren't going to do that much against this. Scarlett counters here. I think Artosis should probably abandon taking this base or sending SCVs here for a while. If I was able to, like, warg into Artosis's body and play the game for a second, I would go to each command center and queue up 5 SCVs. I think he needs just a little bit more here. Okay. He is hitting Scarlett over here. She is, these probes are going to probably be killed off, but this counterattack is insane. This counterattack is maybe the most important part of the late game we can actually imagine here. Because Scarlett might not have a whole lot that she can do in a late game here, but if she gets on top of the factories, I mean, yeah, Artosis could float these to the other base, but this is a lot. Keep in mind, Urtosis doesn't have a lot in the bank here, so like when he loses something, it's not like he just remakes it like Scarlett can. So what is he gonna do now? I guess he may just give this up for the time being. Huh. Now this is a lot of mines. If he can get some siege tanks set up here, again, it's all about just forcing the Protoss to hemorrhage, which we're seeing that illustrated over here. Ooh, this mine. Now, he does have the CC here. I think he's got the right idea, leaving these tanks here. He needs to go back and save this. Now, supplies are low, but I don't see a lot for Artosis overall here. I think Scarlett's barely won the game. I think she just did it. Let's see if Artosis can fight back. This is one of the things that makes StarCraft interesting, is that you get these kind of weird situations. Like, I think his army can actually come in here and murder this, and then maybe the game goes on. But infrastructure-wise, Scarlett's in a superior spot. He taps out. GG. What a game. What a game. If I had to go big picture there, I think he didn't have enough SCVs that game. I could be wrong. All right, guys. Time for the Artosis comeback. 4-0. Oh, alerts. Hey, thank you for the host, by the way, Maynard.
Fuck you, guy in the chat. You need to scout more? Fuck you.
Guys, we do have a goal for 1,500 Santa Claus cosplay stream.
One base DT into double Nexus with no units. Fucking disgusting. Everyone is disgusting.
I'm using those
Fucking kidding me!
Artosis alerts. I'm like the Artosis is the shark, and I'm like that fish that hangs onto the gills and lives off of them.
You fucking kidding me? Oh, this is so stupid.
Norman Bates with the gifted subs. If you guys give 5 or more, we have an Artosis quick video that comes up.
Hey, you fucking idiot in the chat. You are terrible at everything. You want to talk about my minerals in the bank? Let's see you play.
All right, guys, I'll be right back. Let me just pee real quick here.
Are you fucking serious? Hey, you fucking idiot in the chat. You are terrible at everything. You want to talk about my minerals in the bank? Let's see you play. You fucking asshole. Why the fuck are you in my base this early? Fucking asshole. Did you see him go for the gas too? Fucking asshole. Hey, you fucking idiot in the chat. You are terrible at everything. You want to talk about my minerals in the bank? Let's see you play. You fucking asshole. One base DT into double Nexus with no units. Fucking disgusting. Everyone is disgusting.
Thank you guys for supporting the channel. I really appreciate it. You guys are the best. Has our Artie only gone mech into Toss and Y and Terran? I'm sorry, buddy. I don't understand what you're asking me, guy in the chat. You're going to have to type that again. Why no bio? You can't really go bio.
Oh, come on! on? Why are you up there and all the other ones are down? You fucking moron vultures!
If you go bio against Terran, it's like a cheese.
This is so stupid!
You can go bio against Zerg because of the nature of the units. It's actually really interesting that Terran has to go one unit set against one race and a completely different one against another. Why no Corsairs? What the fuck? We got... Is this Polypoid again? We had Polypoid for map 4? Oh no, this is... No, this is Polypoid. How could Artosis defend that 4th base last game? Well, I mean, there's so much we could talk about with that last game. That was actually a very exceptional PvT, and that both players got to, like, the critical end game in a very weird way. A lot of what happens in these later games, you could talk about it for a whole day, but it's the early game that's more important, how you got there. Scarlett didn't get the proper closing tech. She only had like one Arbiter and she was maxed out. Artosis turtled and didn't seem to have enough SCVs. That's something... Oh, we have all of our viewers back. Okay. When I was casting, I looked back. I'm like, 800 viewers? I'm like, am I just terrible? People are trying to watch us. They're like, I can't stand you, Tasteless. Just close it out. I don't even care who wins this now. Question in the chat here. I'll take a couple questions before, because this game's going to be a little bit, unless I see something crazy happen. Do I think... Hold on. Shit. I almost missed a question. Let me go back to my chat. Do I think ladder incentivizes you to play one way, and that might be why Artie is struggling? No, Artosis is actually a very good tournament player. I mean, we all joke because Artosis rages and stuff, but Artosis actually... Like, I played in tournaments in the past that Artosis won with, like, a lot of good people there. He knows how to play a best of 5. I think build order rotation is of greater significance in StarCraft 2 than StarCraft 1, because the maps play such a bigger role in StarCraft 1 because the game is clunkier. Whatever, paint my beard green for GSL and amber for ASL. I'm a big fan of the stylings, but you have a lot of room to mix it up, and I'm very interested to hear my opinions on this. I don't know if I'd ever color my beard. Well, that's not true. I've dyed my beard black before, and then I don't do that anymore because, like, after a week, it looks fucking weird because there's gray with, like, dark black on it. But no, I would never color my beard a weird color. Will I dye it white for the Santa Claus stream? My beard's already white, man. See? But I'll probably get a Santa Claus beard for the Santa Claus stream, assuming we get to our goal. So, real quick here. We have both players fast expanding. And, is this faster when you put that there? I've never seen that before. Yeah, look at that. Protoss always put a pylon here, but yeah, I guess you can just put a machine shop here. How about that? Otherwise, the SCVs actually go to the left a little bit, like that. Like this. What do you think that differentiates Artosis and Scarlett that are clearly good from the next level of pro players? I would say perfection. I think they're both playing well, but there's definitely been some hiccups in this game. I mean, if you go back and look at the special Tasteless show match that I played in, like, we both were making, like, huge errors. Like, they were good games, just like these are, but, like, go watch Flash play and look at how he makes it look like, he's playing on a StarCraft 2 UI in StarCraft 1. Everything's fluid, nothing dies, everything's perfect.
You guy in the chat, you need to scout more Fuck you.
When did I start streaming again? I've been streaming for like 8 or 9 months. Me and Artosis don't have any events we can go to. We make half of our income at overseas events, so we're streaming. I'm loving it. We might do some StarCraft after this series is done. I hope we have Artosis come back. I'm a little bit worried. And we'll probably be doing Cyberpunk later too, guys, if you want to hang out. Scarlett's APM is higher than Artosis's. Guys, don't focus on APM. Let me tell you something. That was like way oversold in StarCraft. APM. You could be pretty slow. You could be at like 120 APM and play very well. There's some matchups that require higher APM than others, but there's a lot more. People don't read it correctly because not every action is significant. And there's repeated actions. Now, this game, we have Scarlett going for Reaver Tech. This is, when Flash plays PvT, this is one of his builds. I actually am a big fan of this build as well. Reaver and then Observer later, probably Shuttle Speed. And this is a very active way to play the game because it keeps the Terran honest. Do I think Boneth could compete in ASL? Yes, I do. Boneth is one of the best players I've ever seen play.
Fucking piece of shit.
Guys, thank you everybody who's subbing. It's appreciated. If you have any Prime subs, guys, you can throw them my way. I really do appreciate it. I'm going to pause that just for now as this game's going to pick up here. But I do appreciate you guys supporting the channel. Thank you so much. So, what's Artosis doing? This is an immediate armory here. Now, is there an eBay? No. Okay, well, Scarlett's beating me to this. I was going to say, you need to watch out. Oh, my God. You need to watch for the Reavers here. Oh, my God. One tank killed. I think that was 3 or 4 SCVs. So what I was going to start to explain before the drop happened is when you do this, you don't have an eBay. And so if you do this specifically, you're quite weak to Reaver drops. But of course, if you guys have watched my stream, when I'm laddering, you know that you can also lose the Reaver and completely fuck yourself. So we need to make sure that Scarlett, for her sake, doesn't screw this up. But I think, and Goliath can kill the shuttle quite quickly. Oh, is she gonna go for it? Yeah, shuttle speed's done. She needs to back up. We may see her bring out the modern PvT style, which is quite popular. And this is actually one of the things that makes Brood War exciting, is there are new ways to play the game that are still just now emerging. And the newest that I've seen out of all the matchups is actually mass speed shuttle into Reaver into High Templars. And the idea is that your Reavers, your Zealots, you're like a big sledgehammer just trying to smash the Terran army. Look at the Ursidon's actually moved into here. This thing is so annoying when it blocks my buildings. I've never actually zoomed in on this thing. Look at that. Look at the texture on its fur. Blizzard. Look at his little eyes. All right. This is a very strong way to play. And Artosis is going to be, I think, in trouble here. This is a very good counter to what Artosis is doing here. But again, it's Brood War. It's not ever clear who's going to win the fight. There's so much more you can do in micro and small fights in Brood War than you can in StarCraft 2. And that's one of the things that I think Scarlett sometimes struggles with, is these smaller skirmishes. So she actually doesn't go for it. I was wondering if we were going to see a fight here. He's actually really well positioned. Like, he's basically ready for a fight. So, another gate here. I really like Scarlett's positioning, by the way. Look at this. This is a good StarCraft 2 player playing StarCraft 1. All she needs to do is put one pylon here, and this is completely plugged from drops. Guys, Artosis is about to have a seriously scary push, and I don't know if Scarlett's going to be ready. I wish I could check the contents of a shuttle. As an observer, I would like to know if there's 2 Reavers here. Does she have a Citadel? Guys, am I missing this? Do you guys see a Citadel? I don't see one at all. One feature with this build is you do need zealot speed. So Artosis is going to do 2 base plus 1 attack plus 1 armor build. And Protoss can know this is coming and just die still. Now, she has set up a very good 3 shuttle play. So she's playing... It's very cool to see her play in this modern style. Okay, there it is. The Citadel and the Forge. But this is going to be 0-0 Protoss units. Fighting. Plus 2 attack, plus 1 armor. I don't know where the upgrades are at. She had a Citadel on a different map. We're going to have that push come now. Ursadon's now moved back out. Into hiding. Okay. What is this? Control click. 11 Dragoons and 8 Dragoons. And 3 shuttles. Now again, I might be wrong, but I feel like the execution trick for this is for Terran to not siege everything. Okay? You siege like the tanks in the very far back. I believe that is the way to control us. Now, oh, Artosis. Oh, God. Okay, here we go. Here we go. There's the Reaver. The shot connects. The Reaver goes down. Second Reaver. Shot connects. There's just too much back here. I don't... Yeah, I mean, he just needed the rest of his army here. Yeah, I think Scarlett wins now. I think there's just no way for Artosis to recover here. She's actually just going to drop Dragoons over here. Again, you know, Brood War is really a game where you have to manipulate your units in certain ways, and having everything sieged here and too much back here. I think when you do the plus... Also, this is an anti-timing because... Yeah, the armories aren't finished upgrading. I thought plus 2 attack, plus 1 armor was finished. I see what you're saying, Quark, but yeah, I think he just stepped a little bit too far out. Again, if half your tanks and vultures are here and the other half are here, you're not covered well. We're gonna have to have the third show match with these two. But I'll tell you, Artosis usually plays a lot better than this. The problem now for Artosis is that there's no third command center, and he only has 3 tanks. So, basically, the rest of the game is out of his reach in a way. Right? I mean, you could just keep making shuttles and zealots and dragoons and growing. And all Scarlett has to do is stop this base from being taken, and I think she's actually just going to start dive bombing. This is a Scarlett recall. Almost drops in there. That's too bad. I think he could have actually won this game, but I think, again, the execution wasn't there. And I do feel like what you need to do when the Protoss plays mass shuttle is not have that much sieged. Take the fights there, kill everything that's dropping, and then siege. eBay coming. Now, I don't know, man. This is maxed out Protoss. +2 attack and +1 armor is done. Okay, here we go. There's going to be another engagement here. Here we go. Showtime. I don't know that Artosis can hold this. The first shuttle is obliterated. Other shuttles are dropping. The Vultures are doing an excellent job covering here. It's pretty much just Dragoons. I think barely Protoss might have enough. Just getting a few of these Zealots on top of the tanks is really the game plan here. Wow. Now, Artosis holds that off, but he lost all of his real assets there. The tanks have been killed. So, very, very difficult to recover from this. Yeah, maybe we can see him climb back from the grave. Scarlett is a little bit rusty in the late game. Excuse me. But I just worry that Artosis doesn't have the number of tanks that he needs to actually ever hold this down. I think Scarlett is basically able to have a series of pretty poor engagements that aren't optimal for her, and she still wins the game. Okay, here we go. Another push coming in. Okay, again, this angle for Artosis is actually pretty good. Nice D-Matrix there on that tank. Scarlett micros past it. There's just too much. There's just too much here from Scarlett. Observer getting chased away. One tank comes up. This is going to get killed. We may have GG here from Artosis. In what looks like a 4-0, man. Unless something crazy happens that I'm not seeing. The last series they played 4-3. Yeah, Scarlett had a really strong showing here. I think Artosis definitely had some, I would say, mechanical errors in this series, though. GG, 4-0. Wow. Scarlett crushing.
Fuck you, guy in the chat. You need to scout more. Fuck
Thank you for the subs. I do appreciate it. Let me see if we can, second. Chat's funny. I'm going to see if the players want to do an interview on Discord. Stop the count. This person in chat keeps spamming. Could you please explain why Artosis likes Brood War more than StarCraft 2? I mean, he's playing Brood War now instead of StarCraft 2. I think a lot of people are because Remastered's the newer RTS that's been pumped out here by Blizzard. But I mean, if I can't speak for Artosis. I'm playing because of nostalgia. And Brood War is very, very popular right now. Yeah, you can see Scarlett has a very good RTS game sense. What's more popular with kids in Korea? Brood War or StarCraft 2? Brood War is much more popular than StarCraft 2. Brood War's size is equivalent to StarCraft 2 size globally. Brood War's size in Korea is the same size as StarCraft 2's is globally, and StarCraft 2's is very big. Okay, I gotta get on Discord. Hold on, chat. No, the remastered servers are different. Hold on, I gotta pause alerts. Discord. We're gonna have the interview here. Still waiting on Scarlett. Good games, everybody.
GG.
GG.
Scarlett, congratulations on 4-0. How did you feel that you played in that series?
I think I played a little better than I expected. And the games went pretty well for me. The only game I was really worried about was the Circuit Breakers game.
Why were you worried about the Circuit Breakers game? Just because of the weird direction the game was going in, or?
I meant like the early game when I lost my natural. Because I opened TT drop and he did the push with turrets. And I don't think I did enough damage with my DTs, but I'll have to check the replay to be sure.
Artosis, how did you feel that series went? I mean, you lost, but did you feel like you were playing at your best, or did Scarlett surprise you with her strategies?
No, I didn't get surprised, really. Well, I was surprised game 1 only. I was really surprised how greedy the third was. It was like really, really fast, and I kind of altered my play through the series for that to adjust. I thought she'd play a little bit more, like a little bit more safety than in third Nexus that quick, but that didn't. That wasn't like the reason for that loss or anything. I'm pretty disappointed, obviously. I really should have won game 2 and game 3. I like reset my rallies on game 2. And once I cleared her army, I would have had 2 more tanks and 3 more vultures there if I hadn't reset the rallies. So I like lost my mind at that point. That was really sad. And then not being sieged when she killed my army when I was going for the 5-fact push on Circuit Breakers, between those 2 games, it was just like, oh man. It's a very disappointing way to lose a game, you know, because I think I should have won games 2 and 3.
What did you think about game 4? Did you feel like you were out of position there? It seemed like you were going for +2 attack, +1 armor.
Yeah. So when she attacked in, I sieged my tanks real quick, but a tank sieged on my ramp and blocked half my army into my main. So that was, you know, yeah, that wasn't good.
Scarlett, I saw that you went for DT drop on Circuit Breakers, and you did that in the first series as well. Is there a reason why you elect to go for Dark Templar drop? I see a lot of Protosses not go for that style on that map. Is there any reason for that?
I wanted to throw it in once in the series. It's a build that I know the build order pretty well, and it went pretty well last time we played. Plus, with Circuit Breakers, I think drops are generally pretty good in those positions. Maybe Reaver would have been a bit better, but this time I added Dragoon range with it. And the first time we played, I didn't have Dragoon range, so I wasn't sure if that would throw off his like scouting. Like,
you had Goon range? Because Circuit Breakers at 440, I was like, oh shit, DTs are coming, because you hadn't hit my bunker at all.
Yeah, I guess that was my mistake. I made Goon range, but I hit it like once or like the tank would have went forward once, but I wasn't sure if you noticed that I had Goon range. But yeah, I did.
If you had ranged into my bunker more quickly, yeah. I may have not had a turret at the natural. I'm not sure, because I started the eBay like a panic start because I was going for a 2-fact pressure because I thought you were going to play greedy that game. Yeah, that game could have looked quite different because I just, you know, when you don't start hitting the bunker right away, it's like, oh wait, what is she doing here? Yeah. And I had turned the SCV around because I was trying to save my scout SCV, and then you turned your goon around, which kind of made me suspicious as to what was going on. Because normally you'll just chase the SCV down, but I was like, oh, I really want to see when she takes the third so I can decide if I can kill her.
I think the problem was I didn't make a third goon, so I kind of had to keep the second one at my natural. It's only 50 gas. I definitely should have made a third dragoon, and then I could have either pressured the bunker more or chased that SCV for sure.
Yeah. Well, we should look at the replays. That was like one of the stretch goals. It
Sure,
won't
let's
take
go.
long because there's only 4 of them.
You want me to load it up? Or
I'll
you
load
wanna
it up.
Okay. Caster Muse, did you have any questions while we're getting the replay loaded?
Well, I just want to say GG I played for both players, and I want to see more matches. But
Yeah, me too. I hope we can have another rematch here.
Well,
But anyway-
I lost the first one, then I got 4-0'd, so I don't know that you're going to be seeing a rematch.
I'm going to be playing 80s Mullet in a couple weeks, maybe this week or next week or something. No, not this week, excuse me. Next week or the week after here. We haven't set a date, but that should be fun.
Anyways, I want to say thank you to Artosis and Scarlett to give me a chance to cast in Korean.
Oh, of course.
And many Korean viewers like these matches. They say, "Oh, it's a funny match." In general, Korean viewers don't have interest to foreign players' game, but this case is different, I think.
Scarlett's quite famous. You guys join my game. Game A5.
A5. Scarlett, there's a question for you. We were talking about this in one of the games. Your Citadel seemed late in a couple of the games. Is that a stylistic thing where you want to focus more on just massing Dragoons? Hello?
I think she turned up
Oh, I think
her mic.
your mic's off. All right. All right, let's go into this replay.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I had my mic muted on Discord for a second. I noticed that some people in my chat after game 2, I think, said you were talking about that game. And I delayed it a long time because I thought he was pretty committed and I just needed to break the contain, so I didn't want to add it then. But I definitely lost too many Dragoons that game to the mines, or I would have been able to add it sooner, I think.
Got it.
And in general, with making my third base so fast, I wanted to check with my observer if he was going for more than 2 factories before I added it, because otherwise with a fast third and fast citadel, I would have just added.
This is game 1 or game 4?
This is game 1.
You were in the same spawns, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so, I mean, I sneak my Vulture out here in a second. I guess I took the really long way around, so maybe your third wasn't as quick as it felt like when I got there.
Played like 7 Dragoons, third base. I think it's not too quick. I actually made
Yeah.
a shield battery, then canceled it for a second when you pushed it with the tanks.
Oh, that's funny. Oh yeah, okay, you just started it right there. Yeah, it felt a little bit fast when I was playing. I guess in a important match, time feels a little bit different or something, but I thought my third command timing was really nice. I was happy with that because I knew you couldn't really attack or anything and there was no Reaver.
Yeah. Normally, if I'm playing this kind of build, I think I would make a faster fourth against that even than I did this game.
I try to leave the Vultures around to try to slow probes and stuff, but
Yeah.
I figured your mineral base would probably be the next base you took anyways. There's
Yeah,
nothing I
think
can
did.
do.
Oh, I had to kill the Earthstone. Yeah, that was this game.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
this
okay.
game also, I switched up what I was doing because I think let me just jump back in the replay for a second here.
Sure.
1 second. Okay, so yeah, see my armory? Like, I was busy looking at your third and like setting up some mines, and I didn't start +1 attack.
Oh.
And because I didn't start it, I changed my strategy because I was planning this game to go for 2-1 and just play a macro game against you. Like, probably take a 4th base, like start to push towards you, stuff like that. But when I realized I hadn't started it, I had no timing, so I was like, okay, I guess I'll just like really mass up and go starport as I move out with the 4th. So that was a bit of a mistake. I like overpaid attention to my Vultures.
Sorry, I'm muted to my stream.
Excuse me, Scarlett. You don't seem to go carriers at all. Is there any reason for that?
I think carriers is I also didn't go carriers in the last series against Artosis. I think it just changes the game quite a bit to play carriers from the post-off side. Like, it's a very different way of playing, and I would have had to practice like a completely different style a bunch of games as well. So I thought it was better to focus on just playing a style I was more comfortable with.
There's
honestly, from my point of view, I'd rather play against carriers by far. Like, I'm the weakest to Arbiter. All right, so I paused it here at the first engage. I thought that you were gonna just barely not have stasis yet, so this was a bad read for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, you do. You have 108 energy on there. For some reason, I think I thought that your Arbiter was a little bit later this game.
I think
Yeah, I
this
said
fight is.
Hmm?
I think this fight is good for Artosis, but second fight is good for Scarlett.
Oh, really? Let's look.
I think
I think committed a
this fight
bit much
is
with
good for Artosis.
Stasis was pretty good.
But Killer can on first, yeah, I think
Yeah. If I backed up right now, I think it would have been better for me.
Yeah, when you ran that Zealot around to drag that mine, I was very sad, by the way. That was like, I was like, oh shit, she sees the mine, this is bad. My vultures were on the bottom instead of any at the top. Okay, so after that battle, because we had the same army supply going in, and I guess we still do right here, approximately. Yeah, but, oh yeah, I was taking my 4th base. How many facts do I have?
Do you always just have 2 add-ons for your factories?
Yeah, you have to have 1 add-on per gas, basically. That's what you can afford.
Oh, really? Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's otherwise like you won't have enough tanks, or you won't be able to even spend or make it out of the 3rd factory. Or well, I guess you could with 2 gases support 3 factory tank, but you literally can't buy anything else. It sucks up like every ounce of gas. I don't know. After that, I was like, I was pretty sure that I was not going to be taking this game, but
Yeah. I think you don't really have a second army or a starport, right? So you're
yeah, it was all very late. And
like a +1 time.
I actually had some weird. I had like 2 or 3 factories rallied at my bunker, so when I was jumping back to my rally point key, I didn't have many units. That happened to me a few times.
I noticed when I watched your stream in the past that you change your rally point a lot during the games.
Yeah, it can, if you do it right, it really helps, and then if you miss rally anything, you're really in trouble. So, okay, I think this was a really sloppy move for me. There was no reason to move out right here.
Yeah, I think the siege tanks in the front as well really hurt you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I really should have just sat back and maxed out. That would have been much better.
Yeah, I think this was a fight you probably could have taken here if the vultures were all in the front, the siege tanks from the back. Because it was a bit of a trade for the first one.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely the siege tanks in the front I think hurt you. And then the other tanks in the back not sieging as well.
I didn't siege at first because there's so many zealots, but yeah, that move right there was definitely the game loss. There's no recovery after that. Okay, we can go on to the next game. I don't leave games quick enough.
I'll let you load this one up, Artosis.
Yeah.
Okay, this is, we're going to go on to the Eclipse game here.
Okay.
This was an interesting game, actually, for the early part here.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see, like, what his economy was like during this push. Because I thought he was pretty committed for a while.
Oh, yeah, no, I was all in with the push. Like, I actually, if I hadn't fucked up my rallies, I win this game 100%. It's,
Even if I don't run into the mines as much?
Well, I mean, that's... Then we have to be like, and then what if I took an expansion? And then
Can we
what if
pause?
there were DTs?
Can we pause here for a second?
Yeah.
So I had some questions for you, Artosis. I think your 2 factory builds are actually among your best TVP builds. Like, you definitely know the ins and outs of it. But I was curious because on this map there's 2 ways to get to the opponent's base, and one is over the 2 hills, the metallic hill and the Badlands hill. The other one is on the low ground. I was surprised you pushed over the hills and not on the flat terrain.
Yeah, if you push on the flat terrain, there is the, you don't have to fight uphill, but I actually have a lot of good tactics for when they try to camp that hill. So I just like
what
to go
kind of
the shorter
tactics do
route.
you have? Like, what do you mean?
Well, I run my vultures around, and then you can like kind of sandwich the army. Like I actually do that to her this game. Oh, and going into this game, I actually didn't have any plans to 2-fact.
Yeah.
But when I saw your cute little zealot move, where you try to have the zealot at the bottom of your base and walk out, I'm like, nope. This, like,
Yeah.
when I saw that, I was like, she's gonna try to deny the bunker is what's gonna happen. I'm not playing that game. Like, let's just rush. Yeah. Here, let's look at the push, because this game made me very sad.
I think I got a lot of damage done, like while I was retreating. Yeah.
So your idea here is to plant mines behind?
Yeah, like see right here, I'm like keeping my tanks on the high ground there, I'm checking, and then I run the vultures around and lay the mines. And the thing is, moves like this will like win you the game, straight up. I knew she had a goon at the 3rd, so I wanted to catch that one too. I had my SCV at the 3rd, right? So I saw that get cleared. So here I like laid the mines. I should have laid one more there though. Yeah, I think that would have been good. And actually, the running of the vultures in like this, I think, was maybe a slight mistake too. But... All right, so see, she like walks back to the mine, so there's one mine hit.
I don't think my screen was even on that point. I just got lucky that it didn't filter out.
Yeah, it was a good catch. They shot the mine. They usually don't get it, but that time it was a good pairing.
But that allowed me to get over onto her high ground. And from here, I actually feel pretty decent. I still have all 3 tanks. And I'm like rallying speed vultures, right? So I'm like, all right, we can break this. It's just I have to micro really carefully, which is a little bit hard with the turn rate on both sides, but...
Yeah, did lag play a big role for you guys in this series?
A little bit. You can't really blame lag, but it's not as comfortable. So I thought my micro here was pretty good.
And in this build, you don't make tanks, correct? You get 3, and then it's only vultures, right?
If I go down to 1 tank, or I get a good contain up, I make 2 more tanks, and then back to Volt. Let's see, so I pulled back here, and sieged, and yeah, this is like, okay, we'll watch, you'll see. I reset my rallies here in a minute.
To the front?
I put them in front of my factory, I'm not even sure why, but...
I feel like at this moment, maybe Scarlett has a slight advantage, but like, it can be really difficult for Protoss once turrets are up, and if they don't have a shuttle.
Yeah, the turrets help a lot, and like I kind of agree. I think that Protoss should be slightly advantaged here, but I have a lot of experience in this position exactly. That helps me out.
I feel like I struggle a bit in this position for sure.
Like. Honestly, I'll take this position against, like, anybody just because I've done it more than they've done it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like people that mech against Protoss in StarCraft 2. It's like, okay, well, you got your special secret power. Like, all right, so... Here, let's watch how you clear this. I think that was a good walk forward, but God, that splash damage. Look at that. Oof.
Oh.
I was really surprised when I see this situation. Mine explode everything.
Yeah, that mine did a lot of damage.
Here's what happened, right? Right during that, I was like, oh, she's gonna break out, so I'm gonna go ahead and reset my rally. I just went and checked. I reset the rally right after, like I think while you were attacking there, because I thought you were actually gonna maybe break me.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Yeah.
Oh, and you queued up the tanks as well there.
Yeah. Yeah, so I look at that, 2 vultures there. And we can speed this a little bit. This part breaks my soul. I was like dying on stream. So I got the second turret because I know you have to use shuttle at this point.
Yeah, this was the moment because this one SCV, there's an SCV above this. Now I don't know the math on this, but 2 SCVs repairing could save a tank, right?
Yeah, the tank would have lived if the second SCV repaired the tank.
Oh, it's blocked. I thought it was repairing.
It was blocked, yeah.
Really surprised to kill that tank.
Me too. Yeah. Well, the SCV was like stuck next to Vulture and stuff. But see those units that I have at my main?
Yeah.
If I have 2 tanks and 2 vultures here, the game is over. You know.
I think even if that tank lives,
Yeah, I agree. I think if the tank lives and like maybe one more turret's pushed a little bit closer to the entrance, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you I'm just out of curiosity because I'm always casting this from a Protoss perspective. In your experience, do you feel that Reaver is a good play? Because a lot of times when I see pros play, they tech into Reaver as the 2 factories coming because the Reaver can fight but also counter. What is your both players here, Scarlett and Artosis? What is your thought on that route for Protoss?
I like to play against the Reaver.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like, the thing is, I guess as if I get down my ramp with the 2-fact and they have gone for an expansion, I feel pretty good with it against most things, so maybe it doesn't count what I'm thinking about that as much. But the Reaver I'm not too afraid of. I can just kind of out-micro a single Reaver.
Yeah, I prefer playing like 3-gate against this. The third, I prefer having the 3rd gate a little bit faster in this game. I wasn't sure it was 2-gate, 2-factory, or if you were just scared of the units at the bottom of your ramp and didn't want to push out.
So you guys actually both think that 3 gates with goons and shuttle and zealot is the way to do it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. I should try that then. Okay.
Yeah, because it's hard to get observers and the Reaver out. You kind of have to choose one or the other.
Yeah.
No, and I think. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, if you don't have observers, then you can run into a lot of problems against the mine.
Yeah, like I think after you hold a 2-fact, Reaver can be really good because you just slow everything down and it's a pain in the ass to deal with it at that point. But like during the push, I don't feel like people that go Reaver hold it extra. Anyways, yeah, I was pretty sad about the lack of rally there. That was a bit demoralizing for me.
Are we gonna do another replay or?
All right.
We're going over all of them.
Yeah. Don't worry, there's only 2 more. It was 4-0.
I think Circuit Breaker match is Artosis can get this match, I think.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Nick, join the game?
I'm sorry, yeah, go ahead, 1 second.
But Scarlett has too many resources, so Artosis can't bear it, I think.
I was considering going gasless coming into this game, but when I got bottom left spawn, I decided against it.
What's wrong with gasless on bottom left?
It's the hardest spawn to hold against a zealot on, so there's not like a SimCity. When I go gasless, I like to do it on high ground, but there's not like good building placement on this spawn, so I was like, we'll just play the other one. And I actually still felt fine for the series at this point. Like, you know, I lost the first 2 games in our first series, and I felt like game 2 should have been mine. So I was like, all right, I can still do this. So I was not too demoralized yet. After this one, though.
Yeah, this felt really good for me. I was sure I was dead this game in my natural guide. So.
Yeah, I was sure too. Yeah,
so
see,
I have good rank.
Yeah, but you never hit it. So here comes my SCV, right?
Yeah.
And this was weird because I'm like, okay, I turned, and then you turn around here in a second, right?
Yeah, I leave it at my natural. I normally like to have a goon at my natural against a build like you're doing in case there's a vulture on the map.
Yeah.
Because I didn't probe scout, so I'm not sure if you get a vulture out before my first dragoon gets to your base.
Can you block a one ramp on circuit breakers with a probe? I saw you put a probe there. I've never actually tried that. Does that work? Or is that just to try to buy time from the SCV?
It's hard. A zealot can't on the top spawns, it can on the bottom spawn if you have it. There's two perfect spots on the ramps on the bottom and on the top. But a probe might be big enough.
Yeah, I'm just not sure actually.
Yeah, the reverse ramps are very easy to block. Like you can actually see the tile that, like a Marine can block everything there. But yeah, like a few seconds before this, like see my eBay? I started that because like if you're going straight DT, I need eBay started at 420, but this one started at like 440 or something. Or no, I guess it started a little bit later than that, like 450. But yeah, I was feeling, I was like, oh god, this might be DT.
I was really fortunate the probe could have got the kill there. If you went straight up, I think you might be able to see it. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I didn't quite see what you had there, but I did see no range making, so I'm like, shit.
It was already done, yeah.
Yeah, but you never used it, and it felt like when I killed your goon at my natural, it felt like it didn't have range because I just wrecked it. Like you didn't get it away, you didn't get real damage with it. I was like, oh my god.
I think the one that killed your SCV actually hit it from far enough away, but it can be hard to tell from different.
Oh, I think I was looking at home. I was getting ready to spam my turret out as quick as possible.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, here I was like going two factory vulture as opposed to getting the third tank, because it really felt like DT here. And the thing is, by the time that when I was able to start the turret without the DT coming, I actually thought it was going to be DT drop, and that's why I started my extra turret.
Okay, so it was just a problem of me not really showing my goon range as well as I need to.
Yeah, like I would have probably the eBay done about now, but I don't know that I would have the turret coverage that I have if you had more aggressively used your goon to hit the bunker. But there was like the way you moved your goon back home was weird too, so like maybe I would have felt something, I'm not sure. I can't say exactly everything that you did that made me think of it. Those are the two things that were off. So yeah, as you did the DT drop here, it was like, I should have moved those SCVs.
I actually missed this DT drop, by the way. I was like, where is anything over here for Scarlett?
And yeah, I think this push did fine. Like, it was good that I had a couple units on the ramp that died to slow the DTs, or they might have been able to drag mines back. So I got good mine placement. This really felt like I was going to kill the Nexus. So we can speed that up a little.
So I'd say basically all my probes, and then I double expanded immediately after. But I still think it was rough.
Well, because I killed the Nexus and I still had my CC and like I saved the two tanks.
Yeah.
My thought was like, okay, well she'll either double expand or like go all in most likely, right? So I was like, oh, we'll just go like extra facts and then figure it out what we want to do. And like the extra facts will defend and attack.
Yeah, I thought you would want to kill me with your advantage.
Yeah,
so
well that's what I go for.
I added a lot of gateways really early, like before. I already had the Citadel from the Twilight for the DT drop, so I just added Charge or Speed Zealot and then a bunch more gateways around now. Waited for the push. Yeah, there we go, 7, maybe 8.
Yeah, so this part here crushes me because I really felt good about this game. And like if I had just sieged these tanks, I think I'm in really good shape here.
Yeah.
But basically, what?
I just went because my observer saw them all on siege, so I just immediately went on them.
Yeah, it's like I was resetting rallies and like hotkeying stuff, and I don't know, just doing the basic functions of the Terran base. But like, I didn't think you'd have this army out here, I guess, because I saw your third, so I kind of assumed a more defensive position. But this part was like so sad. My God.
Yeah, this is devastating here.
Because yeah, like I really felt like I was gonna be able to kill you with that.
Yeah.
Because
thought it
like
was
five
really
factory,
decent.
yeah, 5 factory vulture rallying into 8 tanks, and I have speed and mines and siege. I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get her.
Yeah.
And then you killed all those tanks, and I was so far behind right here. This was like a terrible.
Oh, did you not even have +1 or anything?
No, I didn't have anything. I was just going for the kill. So, I mean, from here, my whole I was already like, this game's over, but the only possibility was running my vultures around forever.
My Wallen was one square off, so they all survived it. At my point. But yeah, here, I thought I might lose the game after this move from me. I thought I might be able to kill you since I killed so many tanks in the middle, but yeah, there was still a lot left on it.
Yeah, I went into 3 add-on after that, actually. Because, yeah, when you switch to, like, pure vulture for a bit, you tank or bank a bunch of gas. So I was like, okay, we got to refill. And my whole idea at that point, anyway, was just trading vultures out and making tanks.
I had this DT hidden under your third for so long, waiting for you to move out. So. Never did.
It actually ends up getting so many probes.
Oh, did it?
Yes, it killed like almost all my SCVs.
Yeah, there was a period like later on in the game where there was nothing mining at this mineral only. That actually explains a lot. We didn't catch the DT on my stream down there because when I'm observing, it's covered up by the template. Yeah. But yeah, there was no SCVs mining at that mineral only for a long time. Here it is. Wow.
Yeah, it got a lot of kills. So yeah, at this point, I was like, I had so many tanks now that I was like, okay, there's a possibility to win this game, but it's really hard because if you just take every base on the map, like actually killing everything is it's just such a hard task, you know, like.
Yeah, it felt like you were gonna play super defensive when you were setting up. When I saw you start setting up all the turrets on your floor.
Yeah.
So I immediately took a lot of bases here.
Yeah, I felt like I had to just super defend that 4th so that I could get into the middle of the map. And my idea was to cut off reinforcements from top left and then maybe have enough time to kill off other bases. But then I scanned and saw your gates at the top right, and I'm like, she knows. Damn it.
Yeah, I made gates on the bottom line as well.
Yeah.
But in this game, many Korean viewers press you for constantly laying mines.
Yeah, that's...
Why did you not attack here, Artosis? It seems like you're maxed out, and this is like a critical moment here. But it did seem like it took a while for you to push out.
Well, the thing is, I'm not maxed, which is why I didn't really push.
Oh, sorry, the recall just came in, but...
Yeah, well, I know that my army is super strong, but, like, I have to... I find positions like this really difficult, even...
Yeah.
Like, I can, on circuit breakers especially, I can get into games where I have 30 tanks. I don't have any trouble getting into a position with 30 tanks, but finishing the game with those 30 tanks is actually really hard. Even it's like, your army is technically better, but it's really hard to control correctly. Like, vultures those are like my unit, you know? Like, I feel really confident in engagements with those. And then with tanks, I don't know, it feels naked a lot of the time.
Yeah, later on, if the Terran moves to the top left base, then it's really hard for them to defend their 5th base in their natural position.
Like, see here, I'm like trying so hard to like push and get things done, and then she counterattacks in the middle, which is exactly right. Like in a more vulture heavy army, that's much easier to stop. I don't know. I need to improve at that.
And I'm up to 10 bases here.
Only 10?
Can I ask you, Scarlett?
Yeah.
Why you build the 3 temple archive?
Oh, that was a mistake. I meant to make... when I went to the Arbiters, I forgot I already had one from going DT earlier. And then the 3rd one, I just rebuilt some tech at the bottom right, because I thought there was a good chance my main would die here. So I made the Cybercore Robo, Stargate, Temple Archives, just so that if I lost that base, I could still build everything. And I was quite rich, I thought, so... But yeah, the second one in my main base was just a big mistake. A little mistake.
I just want the Iris in intention for upgrade the best upgrade or a mistake.
No.
I just want
Yeah,
to rally.
it's just a mistake.
Gotta get that hallucination ASAP.
I think I made the energy upgrade even though I only made a few temporary. Yeah, but now when you go to the bottom right, it's just very hard to defend the natural.
Yeah, it's so hard to break everything too because my army is like so tank heavy. It's supposed to be good, but it's hard to use. Well, gee. All right, we got one more.